currently Senior Associate Vice President for Technology Commercialization and Knowledge Transfer, which really does fit on a business card. See page 2.
I'm Kathy Blackford. I'm the Executive Director of the Builders Exchange of Central Ohio, and I am an Ohio State grad also.
Go ahead.
Hi all, I'm Melissa Racco. I'm the coordinator for student leadership development programs over at the Ohio Union.
Great. So if we want to go ahead and introduce the fellows, just once again, Jack, you want to start?
Hi, I'm Jack McBride. Happy to be in the program. I study public affairs here at the John Glenn School of Public Affairs, and I look forward to graduating next year.
I'm Daniel Manning, chemical engineer, third year. That's about it.
Hi, I'm Vicky Bunce, I go by Addie. I'm a chemical engineering major as well, and I'm third year as well.
I'm Ruben Dada. I'm a third year majoring in international studies and public health.
I'm Eric Warno. I'm a third year at Fisher College of Business, majoring in finance and accounting and minoring in Chinese and economics.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Millman. I'm a third year majoring in human development and family sciences.
Hello, I'm Evan Heidersbach. I am double majoring in economics and public affairs.
Hi, I'm Shelby Kretz. I'm a third year majoring in psychology.
Hi, I'm Megan Mitro, and I'm majoring in health sciences and minoring in business.
Hi, I'm Yaqing Wei. My name is Sunny. I'm majoring in human resources in Fisher College. I'm from China.
My name's Joe Nuri. I'm majoring in chemical engineering and minoring in Spanish.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us today. We're really happy you all could make it out. Eric, would you like to start?
Yeah. All right. So, in the game of Monopoly, one card or one roll of the die can change the fate of the entire game. Now, while a majority of the game is definitely placed on the player's skills, strategy, aggressive expansion, or financial acumen, there's definitely a large portion associated with risk. Now that risk directly correlates with chance. Chance is all it takes to make a difference. Like I said before, one roll can change the entire outcome of the board. So therefore chance is also an opportunity. And we see chance as an opportunity. We named our event Chance. We give you Chance. It's an event which is going to affect change, both personal and public. It's going to be the first of its character, and it will be held on the campus of The Ohio State University in spring of 2013. To go through who's going to be speaking our agenda for today, we first go through the vision and the purpose. Kelsey will take you through that. Then Shelby is going to take you through our marketing strategy, who we're targeting. Evan will be walking through a description, a more in-depth description than what I just gave of Chance. And finally, we'll look at our organizational structure and the timeline with Megan. With that, I'd like to pass it to Kelsey.
Now we're going to talk about the vision and purpose. Now, what is the vision for the event? Well, first, the vision for this event is to create an ambiguous situation, similar to what we've experienced throughout the year and the challenges that we've faced thus far. So we want to get students who are not the typically involved students on campus, members of the Ohio State community, the Columbus community, and other Ohio State alumni to work together to make a difference in the Columbus community using an actual amount of money, $5,000, which we'll discuss later, given to them. As planners for the event, the fellows are hoping to create an efficient, fair, and effective organizational structure in which all the fellows have an effective role and voice. Additionally, we hope to gain experience in planning and coordinating events, to build relationships with alumni, and of course, to have fun and create a memorable, insightful experience for all of those who are involved. So now, going on to the purpose. The purpose of creating this challenge and event is to educate other students about what we do as a program and to allow them to experience a similar challenge and event that's a whole week long. while they won't exactly get the whole feel for what we do, we have such a great experience and we're so lucky to have these great takeaways that we want to pass this experience on to others. So we want to have a way to present for fellows to develop meaningful relationships with alumni, and through these relationships, we're able to create a weekend that is most impactful for the students who we're inviting. So we're trying to have a group of 200 students and get them to experience what we have experienced. Now we're going on to Shelby, who's going to talk a little bit more about the facility.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the definition of the market that we're hoping to get involved with Chance. So first, who do we serve? We're looking to serve the Columbus community in general, which is going to include students, professionals, and businesses. But the students that we're actually looking to involve are the students who are not typically involved with leadership training activities. So we're looking to give these students a unique opportunity to step outside their comfort zone and get involved with something that, unlike anything they've ever been involved with before. And we're hoping to connect them with Columbus community leaders. And by doing this, we're going to challenge all of them to put forth ideas and put into action those ideas to benefit the Columbus community in general. And by doing this, we're hoping to kind of put not only the Buckeye Leadership Fellows, but Ohio State University as a whole on the forefront on a national stage for its innovative efforts. So how are we going to do all this, and how are we going to get these people involved? We have the marketing committee, which is a group of us that are designated to kind of market the idea of Chance and get the people involved that we're looking to get involved. So their goals are to create a recognizable logo, motto, and brand essence that are going to be used on all the marketing material. They're also going to develop a social media campaign to get Chance recognized and to get the word out to students and community members. And they're also going to do individual outreach to students, student organizations, businesses, and Columbus community members. So moving on to how this event is going to be unique for the participants. For these atypical students, Chance is the only event that they've probably ever seen that's going to fuse business with altruism. And we're going to seek to build professional relationships, inspire creativity, and create a positive change in the Columbus community. Unlike other events, we're going to engage a broader section of participants, including both community members and students. We're going to require fast decision-making, creativity, and other core competencies that we've learned through the Buckeye Leadership Fellows. And we're going to provide an opportunity for the entire Columbus community to get involved.
Okay, so now moving on to a more formal description of the event. If I had to sum our idea up into one sentence, I would say we're going to invite 200 participants, divide them into 10 teams of 20, give them $5,000, and give them 36 hours to somehow better the Columbus community. Now, it's a lot of ambiguity, it's a big challenge for people, but we wanted to do something that was unlike any other conference that you could attend really across the nation. Originally, when we had started planning our initial idea, it looked very much like a typical conference. You had speakers, you had breakout sessions, which is great and fun, but we thought, Eddie and Sarah always give us such great, unique opportunities to deal with ambiguity. We decided to sort of embrace the BLF mindset, if you will, and really throw down the gauntlet for people. So that's how we came up with this idea. Now the goal of this event is to present to the Ohio State community on something unlike anything they've seen before. They're going to be making a positive change that will directly benefit the Columbus community. They'll build relationships with alumni and community members. They'll come away with a higher sense of self-awareness and learn to work at a pretty fast pace. 36 hours is not a lot of time to spend deciding how to spend $5,000. So it's a big, big challenge for people, but we're really excited about it, and we think others will be as well. It also introduces a sense of individual takeaways. I think it was Haroon who had mentioned in one of our initial meetings, a lot of conferences you go to and you just don't really come away with anything from it. You talk about things, you talk about leadership, you talk about strengths, but you come away and you say, well, how am I better? And we think this gives people a really unique opportunity to truly better themselves and the surrounding community. So what do we need to do to get there? So first, for organizational structure, we have developed an extremely effective steering committee and subcommittees. Originally, again, the quarter has been quite tumultuous. We started off with a completely different idea and a completely different organizational structure. And about halfway through the quarter, we realized there was a much more effective way of coming up with ideas and delivering things to the group and working together to accomplish our goal. So now we have 5 committees.
Could you give me a little explanation of that? When you say tumultuous.
Of the original structure? Sure.
Yeah, what happened to you?
There was a lot of communication breakdown with the original structure. I don't think we outline it exactly in any kind of graph here. We do outline the committee structure as it is standing currently. Later on, Megan Petro will go into that a little further, but there were levels of bureaucracy that were just unneeded. Nothing was really getting accomplished, and there was a lot of concern about where we were going with it. Does that answer your question? Do you need to elaborate?
Do you know why that was, you think?
I think we originally, we had an idea and we said, okay, let's go with it. And we maybe didn't think about all the consequences or all of the pitfalls that were associated with our original idea about structure or direction. And so as the quarter progressed, we sort of recognized these and we realized that if we didn't change it now, it wasn't going to change later on down the road. So we wanted to kind of get over that hurdle the sooner we could.
And then kind of going off of that, we first decided org structure, and then from there we went on planning the conference. But as we got a clearer idea of what we wanted to do, we saw that there was a communication breakdown and a vision breakdown, that we all had different ideas and we were all taking them in different directions. And there was too many layers to go through. So whenever we had a clear vision and purpose of what we actually wanted to do, we decided that the 5 distinct committees would be better serve and fit the purpose of the event that we want to do instead of the conference.
That being said as well, just one more additional comment. We had met with Eddie and Kathy previous to this meeting, and Kathy had very geniusly pointed out the committees are not set in stone. They may change. For example, things may merge together just depending on the progress of our event planning. So things to keep in mind as we move forward. Sorry for that long tangent, but it's very important. It's important to understand the process of how we got here. So from a financial standpoint, we're saying we need $100,000 to put this conference on. 55 of which will be going directly to the committee, or to the subgroups, the groups of 20. Like we said, we give $5,000 to each group, and then we have additionally talked about giving the winner of our challenge an additional $5,000 to whoever they helped within the Columbus community. So kind of incentivizing the challenge, I guess you could call it. That being said, programming needs to finalize the scheduling of events and securing the materials and speakers, media, etc. before we can finally say it is $1,000. But today, that is the number that we are going with. So staying on course. As I mentioned before, we went completely off course this quarter, but we definitely think it's for the better. And so to make sure we're staying on course, we've developed a few things that will help us progress in the future. One thing is a project timeline, which we will discuss a little later. Seeking feedback from alumni mentors, which is exceptionally important. That was another thing that the organizational structure was initially lacking. We are students. We have not put on a conference of this size, of this grandeur before, and to be honest, we were a little lost, and I don't know that we knew what we were doing. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. So the idea of the mentorship is to have alumni, community members, experts in their fields to come and help these committees just do what they do, plan the event, give them direction, give them feedback, give them suggestions. And we think that would be extremely important in moving forward. Yes.
Okay, so if I'm evaluating this presentation, there's one question that's nagging at me that's I'm obsessing over that I don't know the answer to right now. What do you think that is? What's the one thing that scares me most about your whole proposal so far? Anyone?
Financial aspects, $100,000.
Okay, so why are we dancing around that? I want to know how in the world are you going to get $100,000? Somebody help me, please. The only reason I'm saying that is when you do future presentations, if you know that there's one question that's going to nag everyone right from the get-go when you're trying to sell something to somebody, address that issue straight up front, early, quick, get to the real nut of it. Because for me, all I'm doing right now is saying it won't work, where are they going to get 100,000? And anything else you're saying, I'm shutting down on.
Hope you like me to skip to that part now.
No, think about it. Wouldn't that be where your head
No,
would
yeah,
be if you were
absolutely.
listening to the presentation? So what happens is you get the person who's listening to it, that their mind is only, what color dress we're wearing to the wedding, that kind of thing. What's the one question that they're going to ask, and get to it. That's a piece of advice.
Good advice.
Oh, you can
Well,
go
no,
on.
no,
Go
go
on.
on, go on.
Keep going. Work your
on.
plan right now.
Put it as a lesson learned. I'll ignore it as
You're
soon as
fine.
you've got it taken care of, okay?
Okay, great.
We'll get questions and feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
And then we're also setting goals on a quarterly basis so we can measure our success quarter by quarter and make sure that we're staying on track. Okay, so anticipated roadblocks. Here we are. So the first one was communication. Like I said, we had communication barriers throughout this quarter, and we're getting better at it, but it still is an issue that, of course, across any organization you're going to have to deal with. So we set up an internal communications committee. They're sending out weekly updates. I believe Eddie and Sarah, I think Sarah maybe gets them too, but Eddie and Kathy are receiving those. Oh, sorry, Sarah.
Sarah will start you.
Just to make sure everybody's on the same page as to how each committee is progressing. We also have group meetings and committee meetings as well to make sure we're staying on the intended timeline. Funding, here we are. The development committee, which is actually my committee, is going to be huge next quarter. I actually just had a one-on-one meeting with Sarah about an hour before we got here, and she was saying, you guys are really going to have to do some work because spring quarter is where funding is going to be. And we realize that is an extremely crucial thing to this project, and we need to get that accomplished in the beginning and as early as possible. So that being said, we've been developing a list of potential sponsors, potential speakers, people that may be willing to donate their time or efforts or food to this event. And the marketing committee will be branding and presenting Chance to the Columbus community. And the thing we're really excited about is we think the Columbus community will really take to this idea, reaching outside of the Ohio State campus. Like we said, it directly benefits the Columbus community, so we think businesses are going to jump on this, whether that be donating their time, efforts, money, like I said. And then thirdly, getting the target audience involved. As Shelby said, we're trying to attract the uninvolved student, which is a very hard thing to do because they're uninvolved for a reason. And so we've talked about a few different things. We've talked about an application process, we've talked about nominations, and we've decided to do a little bit of both. And so we're going to have people nominated from departments from all across the university to make sure we get a really diverse group of students here. But we're also going to have an open application process as well for those people that really are truly excited about joining this event. Also, things we've talked about, obtaining a list from the registrar of the students and sending out emails. We get emails all the time about things, and so we thought that'd be a good way of marketing this as well. As far as the application, option. We've talked about keeping it short and simple. Again, we want to attract people that aren't going to be willing to sit there for hours and fill out an application. Those are what involved students do. So as far as the application process goes, it'll probably be a very quick and simple process.
All right, next I'll talk about the organizational structure and management. As Evan talked about, we first started out with a completely different organizational system, and we moved on to this one, where the 19 fellows are divided into subcommittees. And the subcommittees are the finance committee, programming, communications, marketing, and development. So first I'll start with finance. Finance will oversee all affairs of party finances, including bank accounts, methods of payment, and any other monetary matters. And the goal is to have long-term financial stability and sustainability for future events. So next, programming. We've already talked about this. They have to manage the details and logistics of the event, the time, the place, transportation, food, and the other logistical things. And they will work with planners and professionals so they can have a positive atmosphere and a positive event. Communications, they will contact the potential alumni, businesses, and student organizations. They'll handle the internal communications throughout the 19 fellows, and they'll produce quarterly reports for you guys. Marketing, they will build a branded image like Shelby talked about, and they will need to maintain a social media campaign to get the marketing out to the students. And they will present the project to any alumni or community members who wish to be involved with the event. And development, this is where, as Evan talked about, the funding will be coming from. They'll need to create a relationship with supporters, and they will need to organize all the fundraising of the program. And we move on to the timeline. This is the timeline that is before the event. So we'll start out to the weeks prior. Like Evan talked about, we'll have ask nominees from professors or student organizations.